Welcome to Spinning with Nature. I'm Gary. You've seen the video leading into this. We'll be dealing with a bow drill fire. That was a catastrophe. That was not pretty from start to finish. Come out with a lot of sore muscles, no fire, and no confidence. So what I decided to do was, rather than going back out looking for more material and going through the process of how to make a bow drill, the lengths, dimensions, and all that, which there's millions of videos out there on that, and maybe at some point we will. What we're doing today is I'm going through the woods, the different types of woods, and we're going to try to find a combination or wood that works for me in this area. Now, I did bring back that piece of ash that I had that I couldn't get anything to come off of. So we're going to be trying the softwoods and the hardwoods, the hearth boards and the spindles. Like I said, I got the piece of ash, I got the piece of oak, a piece of pine, and we're going to finish this out with a piece of cottonwood. This is very abundant around here, a lot more than pine. This part of Indiana, we got all kinds of hardwoods, so it's really hard to find a good softwood to make this cottonwood work. It's a good softwood for me, and it'll finally have a use other than plugging up the AC units around here. So the different spindles that we have, as I was talking to Ashley about this, because it's just good to talk to somebody else that's done this, or might have input on it and have a little more insight than you would on it, because that's how we learn, that's how we grow, and that's really what I like to do. So I was talking to Ashley about this, and he had the piece of cottonwood. It's already seasoned and dry, along with the willow. So I got a willow spindle representing the softwood family. Got a couple sticks of those. We're going to move up the scale to the maple, and then finishing out representing the hardwood family at 8 ounces is the seasoned hickory, and this was very seasoned and kind of hard to get down there. This piece of maple I found on the ditch bank. The beavers had cleaned off the bark, gnawed off the ends, but it's nice and straight. Number one thing, have a nice straight spindle. Well, number two, you want dry wood, then you want a straight spindle. That was one of the things I found watching the video. I had a crooked spindle, and I was just fighting that thing. It was jumping around, it was bouncing, it was pulling my hands, it was pulling the hearth board. So I learned that really quick after watching that video. You want a nice straight spindle, the straighter the better. So each of these woods, each has 3 divots in it. So we'll be trying 3 different spindles in each one to find out a good combination. I really want to get this cottonwood to work and find the right one, because we don't have pine in this area. If there's a pine, somebody's planted it, and if you go cutting it down, they're going to get pretty excited, because they will notice that. We have a lot of hardwoods. We have the oak, the walnut, ash. There's a lot of the ash. I think all of them are dead now in Indiana. So there's a lot of that laying around. Hickory. I mean, there's all kinds. We got the cherry. Wild cherry is a nice softwood. But it's once again hard to find. It's not real abundant, but you have to know to look for it, and you can find it. Now each one of these is going to be using the same bow, and I'm pretty proud of this. I got this bearing block, had a piece of deer antler here, and a little bit of palmation on it. So put the divot in it. I've tried it out. It works great. Every once in a while, you got to dig that stuff out, the pulp in there. But I'm really glad to have this. I went ahead and drilled a hole for a lanyard, so I'll be carrying this, because I cannot believe how easy that went. And that was another thing from the video, was I was using a piece of limestone that had a small hole in it. But what was happening is I was using that, there was sand and a piece of the limestone was working loose. That wound up being like 80 grit sandpaper. And that was just something else that was creating hold onto that spindle. So I'd have to tighten the bow down more, and then you can really see it. Well, I was fighting it. I couldn't get it to move fluently, which is really important. So another thing that come up during a discussion is lube, and not something that I've thought about at that point. So we are going to use some lube on this, which I happen to have the beeswax linseed oil mix left that I used on the pack. We're going to try that, because in my head that seems like that would really work out. It might smoke pretty well, so we're going to have to see that. Also, if you're out there and you don't have that lube with you, you can grab something green, leaves, weeds, bark off a tree. You know, there's going to be moisture in there, and it's going to help you. One thing I found in using this is it did get warm on the top after a while, just from the heat being transferred. So this is one thing that we're going to try along the way here. Now each hearth board is going to be clamped down to the table on this small plank that's going to catch the ember. The only thing I'm going for today is an ember. I'm not worried about putting it in the bird nest and blowing it into life. You know, if you get a good ember, that's going to increase your chances of having a good bird nest fire, right? So, that I found out the fire department charges extra to drive in the rain to put the fire out of your house. I want to give you a good scenario for building a bow drill fire. It's your senior prom, and you finally got a date to go. Okay, she accepted the offer. She's got a dress, she's got a corsage, and there's lots of pictures. Okay, it meets all the criteria. You know, same as a bow drill. You got the wood, you got the string, and you got the bearing block. So you take your prom date to the prom, and they start to slow dance. And now you're getting uneasy because your prom date is your cousin. You see how this works? You're out there picking up material, just grab whatever you can. That's like slow dancing with your cousin at the prom. You want to be very selective. You want to pay a lot of attention to what you're getting, because depending on what you use, it will increase the chances of success, but it will also increase your chances of work and disappointment. So just keep that analogy in your head. You know, are you taking your cousin to the prom, or are you taking the homecoming queen to the prom? You're better off spending an hour getting all your materials around and doing it once than trying 20 times in an hour and failing every time. So we're going to get started now, and we're going to start out with the ash that brought me so much confusion and disappointment. So once I clamp this down, we're getting started. Okay, so we got it lubed, and we're going to start out with the willow. It's going to take nice slow strokes. Okay, I got a little smoke rolling out now. Got a really hot spindle. That's all I got. Very little dust at the bottom. Super hot spindle though. That burned all the way back to there, about half an inch. And it's a nice dark chocolate, almost black. Plenty of heat. Did not work. This is a pretty good cardio. When's the last time I did any cardios? It's been a while. There might be a really good reason for that. Huh. Alright. We're going to skip the maple. We're going right to the hickory. We're going to see if we can take it out with the hickory. If I've done any cardios recently, it wasn't planned. Alright. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I got some discoloration, no smoke. smoke coming out now. Okay, same deal. Very blackened spindle. Even got a little worn on that end. Let's take a look at the pudding, because the proof is in the pudding. Alright, these two here you can see very nice divots, dark. Had a lot of soot or ash, whatever we're going to call this. I mean, that's substantial. The softwood made a larger pile than what the hardwood did. But no ember. So, moving on. Ash did not work. This is the cousin. Keep that in mind. I'm not taking this to prom. Okay, well, we're going to put that in first. Oop, in the drill, there we go. Okay, we've got softwood on softwood. Oop. We're going to deepen that divot, because I learned that was one of the problems I was having. Don't get stingy on your divots. You don't get charged by the depth or anything. If that spindle's jumping out, it's because there's nothing to hold it in. There should be some downlock pressure with the bearing block, but you shouldn't be pulling muscles to hold that bearing block down. Shouldn't be that hard either. There we go. Okay, now like I said, willow and pine. Let's just see how this goes. Smoke. That was quick. Oh, denied. I had an ember, it was smoking, and then it quit. Disappointment. Gotta clean this notch out a little better. This one's got a lot of crap built up in it. Okay. Alright, so now we got the maple. I'll move up the scale here. This fell on the oak. There's a lot of maple in this area also, so if I could find the combination of spindle heartboard, that's going to be a plus. I could go out and I could carry the pine and the materials, which I'm not saying is a bad idea, but I'm looking more at a survival situation. I'm stuck in the woods and I got to find something that works quick. I want that knowledge before I even get to that point. So, right now, maple and pine heartboard, maple spindle. slow. Some discoloration already. There's some smoke. What's going on? November. Okay, hickory cottonwood. Hickory cottonwood. I think it's the name of my next child. This is Hickory Cottonwood Michael. Just kidding. Child's done. Here we go. Discoloration right now. There's some smoke. Hey boy. I'm wrong. That's really good. Right one. I mean, that's deep discoloration. The divot, really dark. There was one there. I mean, it smoked even after I took the block away. I tried to get it more air and it quit on me. Okay, we're jumping right to the softwood. So what we got here is willow. So we're going willow on, oh boy, here we go. Willow and cottonwood. Oh. Alright, so we're going right to the softwood. Willow and cottonwood. We're going to see if we can get something to work here. Discoloration, a little smoke. That didn't take long. Good sign. Oh no. Alright, revitalize this plan. The theory I'm going with now is there's a lot of cottonwood around here, there's a lot of willow, there's a lot of maple. I'm going to bypass the hardwoods for now because it's a lot of work to get them down to what I need, to the shape, and finding it dry and seasoned, that's been pretty tough. So we're going to go with the willow. We're going to go with the cottonwood hearthboard, and then we're going to try our willow spindle and our maple spindle, because that's abundant around here, and that's where I need to put my energy at this point. I had to roll up my sleeves. I broke a sweat, and not getting paid for it. So I broke a sweat for free. Well, I broke it for you guys. So this information could be something that you can gain from. Now we're going to try cottonwood baseboard, maple willow, maple spindle, willow spindle. First up, I'm going to do the willow, because it seemed like it really made a good pile. You got smoke already. That's a good sign. Somewhere in there is an ember. So that good smoke. There it is. Look at that. There's the gold. That's what I've been waiting on. I'm so excited. I feel like I need to hug it or something, take it out for a dinner. This has been a long time coming. Alright, next up is maple. And like I said, another abundant wood around here. And there's lengths of it that are straight without having to get in there with your knife and straighten it and try to get it to work. Okay, we got smoke already. A good sign. Good, that's what it fruited. A lot of dust, and it's not even warm. The divot's bigger and darker, but no ember. So that pretty much narrows this down. Softwood seemed to work really well. I apologize if this video is a little longer than you thought. I know it was longer than I thought it was going to be. We're talking 3 holes in each board, 3 spindles, 3 different kinds of wood. There's a lot of information I got from this. The bearing block, lifesaver. This thing was smooth with the lube on it, especially nice and smooth. There was no grab. There wasn't a lot of jerking and bouncing. As you see in that video to start with, it was horrendous. I was fighting myself more than I was doing anything else. A lot of energy wasted. What it come down to, though, a lot of willow, a lot of cottonwood around here, and these produce an ember. With more work and a little more studying on the technique and doing it, I see this coming out really quick. The maple, a little disappointed with that. Didn't generate a lot of heat. It could be that this is not dry enough yet. I'm coming back and we're gonna try this later. I just don't want to bore you guys with it. So just remember, you're in the woods. Are you gonna slow dance with your cousin? Or are you taking the homecoming queen? That's what you gotta think about. So I'd like everybody to, if you got something from this video, just leave it in the comments below, because there's other people that do watch other than myself. And anything that you know that might help, the things that work for you, just leave in the comments below, because that's how we learn. We're going to learn from each other. You learn from my mistakes, I hope. I know I did. I'm Gary Michael, Northeast Indiana, Spooning with Nature. Thank you for watching.